What's up, BoobTube? What's up, BoobTube? Josh here today, and gonna do a little update video. I haven't really been filming much on the truck since it's been just a lot of welding and fabricating exhaust pipes, and since I covered the building of the hot side, or the connecting the manifolds together. I haven't exactly done much else other than just work on that kind of stuff. So I figured I'd do an overview of what all has gone down on the truck, and yeah, just give you a general update on everything. At this point, I don't know when the truck is going to get done because I don't have a definitive answer on when the fuel tank is going to ship. So that's kind of up in the air right now. But anyways, let me get this spun around, and we'll walk over and talk about everything that I've got done so far. All right, so this is the hot side all painted up. Got the wastegate on. It's like on, ready to build the dump pipe, or whatever you want to call it, the wastegate pipe off of it. Ready to do that. I'm feeling a little under the weather. I caught a stomach bug from my wife, so I actually should be at work right now, but I'm not because I've threw up a few times. So if I sound a little meh, that's probably why. I got my oil coolers mounted. Oil transmission cooler. I'm also going to use the built-in trans cooler on the radiator itself, so that it helps regulate the temperature evenly, so it's not just cold or whatever all the time. Got my AN lines built that run down and under and run back to the let's see if you can see the oil cooler. So I had to use one of the oil sandwich plates on the motor, and that's how I did it, since I couldn't use the factory location, since that's my turbo feed line. So yeah, and no, the oil cooler is not, or the oil filter is not the lowest thing on the motor. The actual drain hump there is the lowest spot, but if I hit that hard enough, it's going to drag the oil filter. But I opted for the bigger oil filter since I don't know the condition of the motor or anything like that. So, and it's also going to be a turbo motor, so I opted for the higher capacity Wix filter. Next on the list is actually building the trans cooler lines. I've got all the stuff to get that done. Just haven't started on it. Got into looking at calipers. I actually I bought the stuff to rebuild these, because rebuilding calipers, believe it or not, is really easy. It's usually one or two things in them, and that's it. Sadly, these are old school. They have some sort of press fit ring inside of it that goes onto the seal, which can be a pain in the butt to get out. So I didn't fool with it. I googled and saw how much it would cost for calipers, and it was $20 a side. So I was like, there's no reason for me to even mess around with it. It's $40, and it's peace of mind to have brand new front brake calipers instead of some that I've rebuilt. Radiator is mounted, mounted. It's in its final place. Still haven't figured out what I'm gonna do for the gap there. For the beginning, I might just drive it that way, because the capacity of this radiator is much more than what a factory radiator is, so I shouldn't have an issue cooling it, especially with the two fans. But eventually I will have some sort of aluminum plate bent up that'll fit over that, so it kind of seals in, because you want it to, as you can see, I've already pre-sealed it with cellophane so that it's pressed up against it, so it has a good seal. So the air is forced through the radiator, because if you think of air as a fluid. It's just like water. It's going to go in it's going to follow the path of least resistance. Well, the least resistance is over the top of the radiator currently. So, but that's neither here nor there. That's later on. The fans will help with that and pulling. I've got the exhaust built. It's not hooked up to the turbo because I've pulled it off, painted it, and then realized that I have to drill a hole for the O2 sensor because I forgot to do that. So that's why it's not connected to the turbo. But I got my Fender Dump done, and that's not exactly how it looks. It's more like that. Although I'm holding it, but I think it looks pretty sexy. Took a little bit more massaging around the hole. I'm not really worried about it. This fender was junk anyways, as you can tell. So actually, my dad told me that this fender had been patched once before. He had a buddy in either high school or college that did body work, and it was patched even before it started rusting. So this isn't the first time that this panel is rusted there. And then that's always a good sign when you see something like this. I've started working on the intercooler piping. I actually have the first section done from the turbo onto the connector for the inlet side of the intercooler. I haven't welded it up. It's actually these pieces right here. So that's what the piece is going to end up looking like. So I've got to weld it up, and I'm going to try and have as few silicone connectors as possible. So hopefully I end up with 4 total, 2 on the inlet, 2 on the outlet. So, but yeah. So that's that. And then, let's see. What I'm currently dealing with is the notorious GM proportioning valve. Right now I believe it's locked in the front for the front brakes to work and the rear brakes not to work. So I've got to rebleed the system to get that working, and hopefully it's not like sludged up or stuck in there, and it'll come undone. And then once I get the turbo, the cold side, or well, the hot side inlet and the cold side outlet into the motor, once I get all that done, it is to the point of waiting on wiring and the fuel tank. Can't build the fuel lines without the fuel tank because I don't know exactly where the pickup is on the tank itself. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. You can see my list, and my list is pretty much marked off. Fuel lines, wiring other than the terminator, turbo exhaust. I can cross that. Well, I won't cross that out because it's not complete yet. I got to drill the hole for the O2 sensor. Transcooler lines, intake plumbing, working on that. Bleed brakes. I've bled the brakes. They need to be redone. Need to wire the fans, measure for drive shaft, and look into a boost controller. And then I've got a few wants that I might take over. I might do the wants if it's going to take a little bit longer for the fuel tank and so on and so forth. The place that I'm going to use for drive shaft is they say that they have a 24 or 48 hour turnover, so I'm not turnaround, so pretty happy with that. Took the worn out door card off and was greased my windows a little bit because it was a little hard to get it to roll down, and now it rolls up and down a little bit better. But I need to replace all the door sills, everything. But that's a later date. This is not going to be any weather truck. This is going to be a sunny day truck. So you can hear I don't know if you can hear it, but That's the power steering fluid, because the power steering system's all hooked up. I just gotta get the truck running and turn the steering wheel back and forth a few times, and hopefully it'll bleed the system for me. Let's see. I think that's pretty much it. Truck-wise, let's see. My basement got flooded last weekend, so luckily it didn't hurt any of my. My basement doesn't flood. I guess it's common for houses that are built into a hill for the concrete pad to be laid, and then these cinder blocks are set on the concrete pad and not like next to it or something like that, which would make sense. I'm not a civil engineer, I don't know. But I hadn't had a chance to get up on my roof and clean the gutters out, and with that, the water runs over the gutters, lands next to the house, and then it runs down against the wall of the house and then onto the pad and comes underneath the pad and runs across the floor. So it smells nice and mildewy in here right now. It's probably going to be like that for a while until it warms up. There's still some wet rugs and stuff in here that need to dry out, but I'm not too worried about it. I don't think I'm going to have any mold issue or anything like that. But yeah, finally got my welding table all set up, and I'm progressively getting better. The welds on the exhaust look a ton better than the welds on that, but they're still not pretty, but they will definitely get the job done. But so yeah. So anyways, guys, just a quick little update video. I know I haven't been filming much. I've been, slamming stuff, trying to get stuff done on the truck because I really want to drive it as soon as possible. And that's gonna be, it should be pretty easy. Hopefully mid-June, late July, I'll be turning the key over and doing the setup for the Terminator and everything, and it'll be ready to go. I don't think I've actually expressed my goal with the truck on the channel. My goal is to make 600 horsepower at the rear wheels on 10 to 12 pounds of boost. I'm not looking to make crazy amounts of horsepower. I'm having everything set up so that if I wanted to in the future come back and run E85 and turn the boost way up on it, I can and not have to worry about it. The only thing that I'd have to do is rebuild my fuel line and change out the fuel pump, which is easy to do on this. It's not that hard to do. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even have to rebuild the whole fuel line. I just have to splice in no, I would have to rebuild the fuel line because I'd have to switch over to PTFE. And right now it's not. It's just standard hose. So other than that, hopefully I'll have some coverage of my recent race. If you follow me on Facebook, you've probably seen some of that. But yeah, so I guess that's it for the SCOTTY update. I'm gonna try. I keep saying that. I'm gonna try to get more video coverage into the make it into videos. But as soon as that thing's done, then we'll start on the rotary swap Miata. I've been kind of planning out what I'm gonna do with that, and it's pretty much gonna be an all analog car. It's gonna be very simple, very easy to do setup that's easy to work on wiring wise and everything else. I don't think I'm going to actually put any of the factory wiring back into it. I think it's going to be all, I'm going to rewire pretty much the whole car or buy something that's got like a simple like headlight tail light brakes, starter, and that's pretty much it, and wipers thing. Well, I'm going to end it off here since the heat just kicked on because yes, it's Tennessee, and it was 70 degrees 2 days ago, and today it's 37, 38 degrees. So yeah, story of my life. Until next time, guys. Deuces.